loss tonight. I don't know why we've gotten off to poor starts at home in some of these games, but it's really cost us. Had a hard time scoring. Some of these games at home, and to give Florida State credit, I thought they came in and made shots in the first half. Shot better than they normally shot. Got into a really good rhythm. And the problem is when you're struggling a little bit on offense and then they score, you're always going against 5-on-5 defense. You never get any transition baskets. You never get any advantage situations. And so you're constantly going against their set defense. And then if you don't score, you're in transition defense. And it becomes a cycle. And in the first half, it was a problem. And we had to back our pressure off a little bit in the second half in our man defense. I thought our pace was a lot better offensively in the second half. Some of that probably just Florida State took a deep breath and relaxed. But, had opportunities to come back and steal one. We didn't make free throws and had a couple opportunities late, didn't make a basket. Didn't execute, got beat.
Questions, Coach?
Talk about the last thing. There was a 12-second span there from 30 seconds on where you called 3 timeouts trying to set something up. The frustration of not being able to get something.
Well, the first one we executed. It's one we practiced a lot, and we got the ball to KJ to look to KJ or Book. We got the ball to KJ right in the middle of the court. And he drove to the basket and missed a layup. And then Book, I think, had the tip, and I think he missed the tip. And, we maintained possession, or maybe there was a foul or whatnot, and so we executed that one really well. And the next one we were trying to get a shot from Milt. They kind of sniffed it out, did a good job. The hard thing against Florida State is they're so athletic. They can switch all different positions. They make those situations a lot more difficult than some teams do because of their athleticism. They did a good job of making it really hard for Rod to see, to pass. I think they deflected a ball. And then, to be honest with you, the last one was something we tried to draw up because we basically were we'd run about 3 or 4 sideline plays, and Jordan just didn't remember really or understand completely what to do. It was supposed to pop out off the second cut and didn't make the cut.
The second half, it looked like you were more aggressive, more attacking on offense. Was this something that y'all talked about at halftime? Yeah,
we try to get better ball reversal and just get into the offense with more pace initially, and some of it also was we got a few stops, and so we were able to transition into some things, and that helped. But to be honest, when we needed some stops in the second half, when we cut it to 5 or 6 a couple times, we didn't get as many stops as we needed, and that was disappointing. So our defense did let us down a little bit a few times, but our offense played better.
How were they able to get so many open shots from the perimeter?
I don't know exactly. Some of it's transition. There were transition mistakes, which is the hardest thing to defend. When you miss shots and then they're in jailbreak and they come at you with numbers and with speed. The hard thing with them is they've got 4 outstanding 3-point shooters, and that's not even on Carroll White, who made 3 today. So they put a lot of pressure on you. When he shoots the ball as well as he did, it really makes it hard. I told our guys at one point in the first half, I said, hey fellas, they're making every shot right now. We just got to hang in there. They're going to miss some of these same shots in the second half. And they did. But, they made a few big shots when they needed to as well. And obviously we played better, but we just moved down too much to come back and win.
Coach, you guys were getting out-rebounded pretty significantly at halftime and came back and actually out-rebounded them for the game. Was that a big emphasis?
A little bit. Just, when you're not shooting well, you're trying to tell your guys that we got to go crash the boards. And I think that's just a sense of urgency, and it's a difference in, being down 6 or 8 and being up 6 or 8 when you're probably more worried about transition defense like they were, so they maybe aren't sending their 3rd guy every time. And we're sending 3 or 4 because we're down and feel like we need to get a board or 2, and we certainly got some we converted some of these.
Roper's obviously a good shooter, but what else is he doing to warrant getting so much playing time, especially as a true freshman?
I just think he's a guy that he can create and make plays. He's not afraid to go score. He's not, he's an average defender right now. He's not a guy who defends well. And some of that's technique, and some of it's just being smaller. But I think offensively, he's got some good confidence. I think he can make a shot. I think he can create for others a little bit. You know, and to be honest with you, DeMarcus didn't play well, and Adonis didn't play well. And so he was the one guy out there with the other perimeter guys that was doing some things.
Coming into the season, the expectations for Devin to step up were really high. Do you think he's done that at this point in the season, stepped up?
Yeah. I mean, the guy can't do much more than he did tonight, 19 and 11, and played 38 minutes. And, you know, it would have been nice to be able to get him the ball a few more times. He did get fouled some, so he really probably took more attempts than that. He just got fouled, so he got a few extra free throw attempts that don't show up. But, you know, he's played well. We knew this was a game where he'd have a chance. They're not quite as big inside, and because of the way they pressure, when you pressure like that, it opens things up inside. And so we made a concerted effort to try to throw it to him. You know, we have a few guys on our team that just don't see quite as well to pass. And so there are other opportunities when we miss them. I think Rod and Miller are our two best post passers. We need to get better passing out of some of our other players.
Anything more frustrating than traveling like you did?
I'm sorry?
Anything more frustrating than traveling like you did and shooting free throws before we come stretch?
It certainly tries your patience. You know, it's something we work on. It's, you know, especially when you shoot like that in the second half. You're in the middle of your run. You know, it's happened to us a couple times now where we go to the line and we get 1 out of 2 in both halves. We got to the bonus early. Did some good things attacking the ball, their basket to do that, and their aggressiveness to use that against them. But you certainly have to make more than 18 out of 30. You've got to make 22 out of 30 at least. And you know, it's 1-3 here. It's a little better free throw shooting, 1 stop. I mean, there's a million plays that win or lose a game.
Coach, obviously not much time to dwell on it, but taking a young team to Cameron on Tuesday, what's the mindset in that regard?
We won't worry about them right now. We'll think about them obviously tomorrow. I'm more worried about our team. Our team's a little down right now. We certainly are proud of the way we played. You know, we've got to dust ourselves off, pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and try to go compete. That's what you got to do. And, but right now we don't feel very good. We've lost a couple games at home that we're disappointed in. You know, the starts have been a problem. I don't know what it is. We fight back, but, you know, we wear down a little bit, and then we shoot ourselves in the foot by not making free throws or not making a big stop or making a big shot when we need to turn one of these comebacks into a win.
With 2 teams with a lot of freshmen, one on the road, one at home, the one on the road comes really ready to play and plays well, and the one at home doesn't play. From a coaching standpoint, you just show them the tape and try to get them to figure it out? Or?
Yeah, there'll be some. Certainly, we'll be watching video of mistakes we made. And, you know, it's not always as easy as like one team's ready to play and another team's not ready to play. Whenever somebody builds a lead, I think that's too easy to assume. You know, I think one team shoots well, another team doesn't. That's a big problem. And again, the cycle starts where you're in transition defense all the time, and you're going against a set defense all the time, and that just makes it even appear to be more problematic, and it becomes more problematic. So I don't believe that our guys weren't ready to play. I think Florida State came in with great energy and played very well, and made early shots, which is what you want to do on the road to build your confidence and give you a little edge. And we just fought back and just weren't quite good enough to finish the job.
Last question for Coach. Is there anything particular you did with Snare, or was he just not as aggressive?
No, I think we just, you know, I do give DeMarcus credit. I thought DeMarcus did a good job defensively, especially in the first half when he played, of guarding him. There were 1 or 2 instances where we switched out onto him when he came off a bunch of their screens and was open, and I think our bigs recognized it. Milt switched out and tried to take him out, and then we got him in a little bit of foul trouble, so then he had to sit some. And it's just one of those things where he never got into a great rhythm. Unfortunately for us, some of the other guys did, and that's the dangerous thing with Florida State is they've got a bunch of different guys that can make shots, and like it's hard to know which ones are going to make them on that night. And, you know, we do a phenomenal job on Snare for the most part, and a kid like Booker, who's a backup freshman point guard, that's a great shooter, didn't really get any shots off. But then other guys, Ian Miller comes back and makes 2. Wisnit's a shooter, makes 3, and Carl Wake, who's an improved shooter, makes 3. That's the strength of their team, is they've got 5 guys that can make threes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.